Hello everyone, this is a presentation on lessons and technology that supports four theoretical learning perspectives. The four theoretical perspectives that we are looking at are behaviorist and cognitivist, connectivist and constructivist. The behaviorist theory facilitates the learning process by employing a system of rewards and punishment to effect changes in and control the behavior of students. The reinforcers are that learners will be given a 5% bonus points on overall course grade or forfeit the grade if there's no participation. The selected lesson in support of the behaviorist perspective is a drill and practice technique using flashcards. This lesson prepares students to display a behavior of active participation in discussions and successfully completing a word problem. The students select at least 10 limited liability terminologies and generate a flashcard deck to be posted in Microsoft Teams for collaborative purposes. Here's an example of some of the decks the students would have created using flashcards in Quizlet. Quizlet promotes active recall and learning and provides several modes of study. It also provides the effectiveness of Quizlet in relation to behaviorism. Research has concluded that students were enthusiastic and motivated to complete Quizlet assigned tasks. The effectiveness of flashcards in support of the behaviorist perspective. Skong 2012 emphasizes the importance of practice, given that behaviorists such as Thorndike establishes that it is practice that helps to create the connection between stimuli and responses. Using Quizlet in the Caribbean, how effective is this? Well, Quizlet is a worldwide learning application, and as such, the Caribbean is not excluded. If you take a browse in Google, you will realize how much Caribbean content is included in the Quizlet application. Quizlet is easy to use and learners can use their smartphones. Constructivist holds that instructors should employ lesson designs that enable learners to interact with content and collaborate to create their own learning. There are a variety of factors that are significant in acquiring the necessary skills, strategies, and behaviors. Problem-based learning is used in support of the constructivist perspective. A new topic is introduced, and so it starts with a question. The game starts with a question. How can we help the chef who is having problem with a high food cost due to the cost of tenderloin? So this is a blind Kahoot. The students attempt to answer. A prompt is also given to assist them. And then another question is given or asked to reinforce the learning, after which the students will be able to apply the concepts and the lecturer will be able to evaluate if the students have really attained to self-regulation. Kahoot promotes social learning as students are able to learn from each other and develop problem-solving skills as determined by the constructivist approach to be significant. How effective is problem-based learning in terms of the constructivist perspective? Learning and transfer of learning occur when learners are engaged in solving realistic problems. Students learn from each other and experience a higher self-efficacy for learning when they observe and demonstrate what is learned. The effectiveness of using Kahoot as it relates to the Caribbean. One of the primary advantages of Kahoot is that learners do not need an account to participate and are able to use a variety of devices. As such, it provides fast and easy access. We move on to the cognitivist perspective. Cognitivism emphasizes the formulation of the learning process and focuses on how information is received, organized, stored, and retrieved mentally. The type of lesson in support of the cognitivist perspective is mind mapping. Students will discuss and illustrate using Kaggle the 4 steps in the cost control process at each phase of the cost control cycle. Here, emphasis is on structuring, organizing, and sequencing information. So let us now look at the effectiveness of Kaggle in support of cognitivism and also how we use it. Kaggle affords learners the opportunity to be in an environment to make connections with previously learned materials. Students can easily organize their information, and the environment usually encourages students to collaborate. Now, if you look at the demonstration here, you will see that you are able to answer the question what it is. So what is Kaggle, for example? A study and learning aid. Why use it? It can organize your notes. Students can use it for assignments or portions of assignments, and also how to use it. There are the steps there, how to use it, and also there are extra functions. The effectiveness of mind mapping in support of the cognitivist perspective. It is necessary for learners to make progress through the different levels of learning as per Bloom's taxonomy, from remembering to creating. Therefore, teaching and learning methods such as mind mapping enable the learner to gradually develop higher order thinking skills. Early cognitivists perceive the mind as a computer. The effectiveness of Kaggle in Caribbean teaching and learning. Kaggle is one of the most used Web 2.0 instructional tools. It's easy to use, great for collaborations, and students have access to partially free content. As such, it is ideal for Caribbean learners. The use of technology instructional tools are becoming more affordable in the Caribbean and afford learners the opportunity to learn mathematics anytime, anywhere, as well as other courses and subjects. The final theoretical perspective is the connectionist perspective. Connectionism, as per Edward Thorndike, suggests that the most significant type of learning occurs when connections are formed between perceptions of stimuli or events and neural impulses, which are reflected in behavior. The lesson that is in support of the connectionist perspective here is trial and error. Students practice calculating area using simulation interactive game. This simulation interactive game is PhET interactive simulations. The students are able to explore the options before actually going to choose the game that they wish to play. Now, the game has different levels, so the student will choose the level. They're able to click in the area where the answers should go for the questions, input the answers. They're able to check their responses, and if the response is correct, they have a nice little smiley face to encourage. The effectiveness of simulation in support of connectionism. Simulation games motivate students and facilitate engagement with the learning material and active participation in the learning process. Positive results will enable repeat actions according to the law of effect. The students are able to practice as many times as possible and will eventually be able to master the concepts. Additionally, the educational implications are significant for practicing until learning occurs. The effectiveness of PhET area model multiplication tool in support of connectionism. Research has concluded that online mathematical applications or tools may improve arithmetic skills, motivate students, and make learning more enjoyable. According to the law of effect, the habits formation are controlled by rewards and pleasure derived from. The effectiveness of using online math tools in the Caribbean context. Computer technology instructional tools have become more affordable in the Caribbean and developing countries and make provisions for a portable mathematics lab. Have you adopted a preferred learning theory? If yes, which one? And what is the reason for your preference? In conclusion, we have looked at 4 different learning theories, the type of lessons that exemplifies the theories, We have evaluated the tool and its effectiveness in supporting the identified theoretical perspective. We have looked at the description of the technological tools. We have evaluated the effectiveness of the tool as it relates to the identified type of lesson. And we have covered the conclusions about the effectiveness of using this type of tool in a teaching and learning environment in the Caribbean context. Thank you for viewing this presentation.